Right, this project, I basically got to fill in these holes. They were from the sockets that are here, so 2 USBs and 12 volt. The reason why it's moved is because this hatch, as it comes up, will hit whatever's sticking out of there, which is not good. And especially with the cushions that are coming, that'd be 4 inches, so that'd be right up to where those are. So I'm gonna move these up here to the back corner. So I'm gonna drill fresh holes, and then the off cuts will go in here, and I'll just fill that in with resin stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Right, got 2 holes drilled now. All it just needs to do is screw this on and then put in the sockets. Just put them in now. You basically got, if you can see that, I'm putting 2 12 volts in because I don't have another USB one spare, but I'll just stick it one of the USB chargers inserts you can get, you have normally for your car. But basically this has just got a nut on the back of it that screws down and compresses this on, and then this is just a faceplate, so you just put 4 screws in it. Right, if you can see back there, I've screwed them down. Now I'm just going to put 4 screws in the front, and that's all good. And then I'll just fix that when I get around to some fiberglassing. So I'm doing it all in one batch. Right, on the back side of the sockets, you've got the original wiring, which I think Sam did actually on these. So we've also got the battery cables for the one on the port side. So I'm going to route all of these up at the top of this cupboard and then come back down and join in. But yeah, I'm going to use some P-clips for that. So I've got one of these plastic P-clips which should do enough. I'll just screw that up to the top. Probably do 2 of them, and that should be plenty. Right, as you can see, I've tidied that right up. We've connected all of those, so the socket should work perfectly. So down here we've got the sockets that are at the front of the boat. These have never been wired in, so we've got to do jumpers between the positive and negative. So that's positive to positive, and then that run down to the positive side, and a negative side. This is my power switch. This was plugged into the water pump for the time being, so I think I'm just gonna put the water pump in line. I've got these really cool heat shrink crimp-on connectors, so you can see inside just like a bit of metal. You push each end in and you can crimp it down, and then you can use a lighter to heat shrink the ends, so nice and watertight, and crimping is perfect. And yeah, and I've got extra heat shrink, and I've also got your typical box of connectors that you get. So yeah, and I'm also using recycled wire because there's no point buying new wire, and well, this works just as well. Right, I've done a little heat shrink job on these. So you've got the positive and negative, and those will go in here. So we'll actually twist these together a little bit more. That's negative, there's the positive. So then I've got these two little runoffs that will go into this socket, and then I'll splice in another wire that goes to the water pump, and then this end will get hooked up to the power for the socket. I get these ends, stick it in the stripper. Both ends stripped, ready to go. And one thing not to forget is put in some heat shrink on. Two black ends here, and twist them up. I'll slide over heat shrink connector on the end. Yeah, and I like to have it so I can get it right sticking out on the end there, so you can just see the wire poking out. That's pretty much how I want it. And then you can get proper crimpers, but I'm lazy, so I'm just going to do it with these. You always do the pull test once you're done anyway, so yeah. Give it a tug, not coming off. And then twist on the heat shrink, because this is the negative one and this blue's a little bit bigger. You can slide it right over the negative little spade connector. So, alright, I'll heat shrink this. I like to work my way from one end to the other and try and pinch the other wires together. And then we just got the other one to do. So down in the cupboard, all I need to do now is plug that one in, the next one in, and then same again on this side, that one and that one. Then I've got my wire running off to my pump, so you can see in there. So you can see those connections looking pretty smart. And then this one on this side will go off to the positive. This one will go back onto the wire that runs to the actual control box, the electrical box. And then this one on this side will go to the pump. This pump here. So yeah, that'll be time to wire that in next. Alright, that's all heat shrunk. I can P-clip this to the wall, but probably won't for a little while. And now I just need to add on my connector end for this and also switch it. Right, so here we have the pump. You can see the connection we have. So on this side is the positive and this side is the negative. So basically all we got to do is hook these wires like that, and to do that I'm going to use these connectors. So basically in these connector kits you get this little rubberized grommet thing, so that goes on the wire beforehand, and then you've got these pins and receivers. So this end's a little pin end, as you can see, little pin end, very narrow, and then there is a receiver end in here somewhere. You find that. So there's a receiver end, if you can see. So one goes into the other, and you can see on this one, which is currently connected to the pump, this one is the male terminal, so the pin one goes in here, and then the receiver, the female end, goes in this one. So this is the one we want, so I'll be using the receiver versions here. So I'm going to slide this over my wire and connect them up. Right, that's that one connection done up. I don't know if you can see one connection done. of those two done. Now all we've got to do is insert it into this. Connector goes in like that, so we want the red to be on the right. So you've got to watch for the little alignment centres, so they're pointing up. What we do is slide that into here, a click, and then same on the other side. So you can see in the end just two shiny bits there that come all the way through, and then you can just push this down, locks everything in so it's nice and tight, and then that'll plug on to the actual pipe. Let's see if we can stretch this with a heat shrink over it. Alright, there we go. We'll do a test. Plug that in, and we'll press my button switch down here. Get it blown out the end. Yeah, so that's that pump done. The complete job, ready for the pipes to come out down there. And then over here we've got all our switches wired up, so a switch for the water tank, just press that and it'll run. And then that's all neatly done. I'll probably P-clip some of these wires a little later down the line. That's all of the sockets and everything else hooked up, and they're all working because we have a little light on the front, as you can see, the USBs, so that's good. So yeah, that's a job well done. Late night working on my boat, it's what, maybe 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock? Something like that, don't know. Probably should go to bed now, but yeah. That's it for this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.